moving on to topic number 2. I'm picking on the Golden Globes. I realize the Oscars have just been announced as well.
We can kind of talk about them both together.
Okay, so we are going to do this. So I'm going to start with a statement of why is there even an award show this particular year? Could we really name a movie? Like, could you name 3 movies that were just out of this world that we're going to remember forever that happened? Because I believe movies are just horrible these days. They're poorly written. A lot of them are written by children. A lot of them had that DEI thing going on. But I just think there's a lot of these people, and Dave's somebody I know could capitalize on what I'm saying here. So a lot of these writers that don't know history, they just don't know their history. And I just think like they're writing for like their age bracket of like 38 and under, but they're not realizing like they're missing like all these key points also pertain to the older audience, middle audience, and this like you only know what you saw. So these scripts are just coming out bad. So with that, I gotta seriously ask, what was the best movie that everybody ran to the box besides Dune? What was the super blockbuster this year? Why are we having an award show?
Are we talking what was the big blockbuster or what was the best movie? Because those are 2 very different things.
Go with both. You tell me, like so, you know, once in a while we get like those. We get the Avatars or the Dances with Wolves or the Forest.
Yeah, and Dune was that, or the closest thing we had to that this year.
That's why I said
Dune was amazing. Love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I would even, and I'm a little biased, I know, because I'm a horror fan. I run a horror channel. Nosferatu was a masterpiece, and it did commercially well. Like it I think I just read it made like double or triple its budget of like $50 million, which for an esoteric historical horror film that's like slow paced and that's like to that level of detail, those movies don't make. The Witch didn't make that much money. The Lighthouse didn't make that much money. The Northman didn't make that much money. Robert Eggers made those movies, but Nosferatu did, which is why I'm happy to see. I agree with you in the general trend, but again, I'm a little biased because this year horror movies are actually nominated in some categories, so I'm actually kind of happy about that.
What's nominated that's a horror movie besides Nosferatu? But is it Substance? I know was up.
So Substance is up for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress. Nosferatu's up for like cinematography, costume design, makeup, and then Alien Romulus is up for Best Visual Effects, which I disagree with. I strongly disagree with because of the weird deep fake Ian Holm. I strongly disagree with that nomination.
Yeah, so, I don't know how that could get it over Dune Part 2. That doesn't even make sense.
No.
I literally got to start over where I say, why are we having an award show in Alien?
Okay, fair enough.
Wow, like the set design was good and the ship and the score, but like what a human shit of a story. Like it was
right.
Oh my gosh.
Mind you,
I have to go with the Substance too. Like Dave, you know me, I'm like we talked about that. I like that. It's a cool, but we're down to this. This is all that we can nominate. Something with a ridiculous third act like this. This is what I'm talking about. That we don't.
I know. We had this debate in an earlier video.
Yeah.
Well,
what are your thoughts on this? Because you know you know my species, but like really, like if you're the guy that one of the main people running, don't you just look at the movies this year and be like, oh gosh, maybe this could be a 10-minute show and we could just
fast forward it. It's a commercial. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Just give it all to Dune.
I mean, you guys, I agree with what Dave said there. I mean, Lauren knows me. I'm a Doom fanboy, read all 6 books, played most of the video games. I knew about Dune way before the Dune 1 remake. I mean, rest in peace to David Lynch. Laura and I even talked about the original Dune. Yeah. Laura and I even talked about the original Dune, which I also like. I know people kind of skewer it for whatever reason. I'm not as deep into the horror as you guys are. I did catch Nosferatu. Wasn't really my cup of tea. I definitely appreciate like what Dave liked about it. Of course, like amazing editing. I love the black and white. First of all, I'll get that right off the rip. But yeah, I could see it getting like set design and costume and stuff like that. I mean, let's talk about Denis Villeneuve not being up for Best Director on Dune Part 2.
That
I don't
is a crime against humanity.
understand how that's possible when you put Alien Romulus up for some other stuff. This isn't the same planet. Like those two don't gel. Laura and I did our top 5.
It's all because of Emilia Perez.
Yeah,
which,
I'm not familiar with.
Is there politics here, Dave? Because that doesn't jump out at me what you're saying.
Oh yeah, no. So Emilia Perez, it's up for 13 awards at the Oscars. It's tied for the second most nominations. Now I have not seen it. It is a musical about a character. It's a musical about a character who transitions from male to female. Now here's why it's interesting.
And that's why they gave it 12 awards, huh? Nominations.
But here's the thing, though. No one actually likes this movie because apparently, and I can't speak for any community I'm not in, but from what I have read, the trans community hates the movie. It's set in Mexico. The Mexican community, which I can speak to, hates the movie. And conservatives hate, like everyone hates this movie. And the only reason that they're nominating it is so that the upper class white liberal Academy members can pat themselves on the back and say, we nominated this, even though the people from the very group you're supposed to be like championing for don't like it.
Yeah,
so that's another reason I crap all over this, because to top it all off, like I'm not all into, like, I'm into what, to me it's like they're just trying to be current when you say that, like, okay, you know, and everybody matters. That's great, but like nominate a good trans movie then. If everybody across the board's not liking this movie, there's no other trans movie you could throw in there.
If I may, there's a trans character in Monkey Man, which I told you about, Lauren, on our top 5s, and yeah, I think that was a much better representation of Indian culture. Now, that's never going to get brought up in the same breath because Monkey Man's a fighting movie where people get their faces bashed in and blood splatters all over the room. So it's like in their minds, there's always talk about them adding like that best stunt category,
which they should.
Action movies get totally underrated in these types of things, Golden Globes or Oscars. They just never get brought up. I think that's why Furiosa probably won't do much. I mean, I wouldn't say it was like the best Mad Max ever, but I could definitely see it getting like, you know, sound editing, the same type of thing.
I don't think it was nominated for anything.
The vehicles were incredible. I guess that would be part of set design. I don't really know how it's differentiated, but yeah, I mean, Dune 2, obviously I really loved. Once Lauren says name 3, then things get a little bit tougher because it was just
it's kind like of Dune 2, and then I can't think of it.
Do you remember like the year the Sixth Sense came out, and you had like Haley Joe going against like Michael Clark Duncan in The Green Mile, and like the other 3 nominated were like these $250-300 million like profit films. It was just like there was times when we'd watch these shows and like everything was like a WrestleMania card. There was no dudders. It's like they're stretching.
1994, the Best Picture nominees were Quiz Show, Pulp Fiction, Forrest Gump, and The Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
I forget the 5th one, but that was a hell of a lineup.
Yeah, that's when it's actually hard.
There's no loser there. And like, when's the last time we've had that? We just said
1994.
You went from that to Alien Romulus. Guys, that's what we're at in this world right now.
Yeah. I mean, and as Lauren and I said, the problem with Alien Romulus, so it did well, like Lauren said in our top 5 video. So the last 2 articles I saw, and I want to get off this, but the last 2 articles I saw was Alien Romulus sequel, Lauren, with Ripley reprising her role. I don't know if that's true or not. And then Ridley Scott got so excited, he started talking about a Covenant sequel, which he brings up stuff and then he backs off of it so fast. But when he sees money coming in, that's usually when he starts to mention things like Gladiator.
He's like 90, and Gladiator 2 was bad enough.
I heard it was not good. I haven't seen it, but I'm obviously a fanboy of 1.
This is like when I crap on everyone. It's like they got the property, Disney got the property, and says, "Well, we gotta make money off this." Well, like maybe it's just not the time yet. Sometimes things need to go away for like a decade, and like you could do all. No, what I want to see. This is coming from a guy with a giant Alien and Predator tattoo on his back and loves those franchises. But like, I like to see an Alien franchise without a damn droid. Nothing to do with the Whalen Company. Like, give me a side story over here.
Yeah,
and like,
I mean, you have the whole universe, right? It should be easy to do.
You don't got to do an explorer thing with it. Like, hey, there.
I want to. Lauren knows I'm not really like the big Marvel guy, but I am like hardcore into like some of the original vigilante characters: Punisher, Blade, Deadpool, Wolverine.
Cable.
Yeah, of course, Cable. Deadpool, Wolverine. Could have been a lot better. It really could have been that epic when we're like, hey, what was the big smash? I mean, it made money, obviously, but like from our opinion, like what do we actually like? Could have been a lot better. So like, I'm sure Kurosawa, Lauren. So Reynolds tweeted at one point that like one of the early scripts of Deadpool and Wolverine was like a Rashomon style, where they go on this adventure and like half of it is from Deadpool's perspective and half of it's from Wolverine's perspective. That actually sounded way better than what we got. Of course, we know that these movies go through like 10 or 20 rewrites. And obviously Deadpool and Wolverine was very clearly a movie developed during the writer's strike. That was quite apparent from watching it because it just went in all these totally random directions and never really tied it together. So
I'm not the world. I'll be that guy. I'm not the biggest Deadpool fan, but once you put Logan in there, I had to watch it.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, there was obviously some history I'm not going to know because I didn't see the first two previous movies, but we all know once you saw Blade and the rest, like I didn't need to see anymore. Like I like this movie. Like, and the whole idea of like the garbage 20th Century Fox character, I was like, this is something different. I'm all about this.
Yeah, for sure.
It was an excellent dessert. It had all the cameos, all the sweets and treats, but there's no real substance there. Like there's no good home cooked meal with it. And I'm not saying it's a bad. I love Deadpool and Wolverine, but it's a dessert.
I don't remember the third act. I just remember that.
Exactly. And the weirdest thing, watch it again at home and feel how awkward it is every time a cameo pops up. The movie stops for a second because they were waiting. Audience is going to clap, but it's weird. And it's like watching Friends without the laugh track. It's just awkward when they all stop.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it just wasn't what it could have been. And like I think the high point was Deadpool 2, which obviously had Josh Brolin's Cable in it. Brolin said that he would quit acting if Denis wasn't up for Best Director, and he tweeted, "Well, I guess I'm quitting acting now."
Is he going to put his money where his mouth is?
Yeah, just like all the celebrities are going to leave the country if Trump won, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's going to do that until the next script with the paycheck comes into his mail, and then
funny. But the closing statement before we jump next topic, there shouldn't be an award show. I'm sticking by that until. I just think you have an award. Yeah,
maybe there's too many.
We got to get our movies back to making sense. We just got.
Yeah. It's tough to do without good movies, unless it's the Razzies. You can celebrate the bad ones all year long.
They should just call it the Razzie, the Golden Razzie Awards. That'd be great. They should merge. If there's not enough good movies, you merge them to the Razzies.
Yeah. If you're going to do the few good ones, then you do the many bad ones.
Yep.